What is the number one thing that is missing from the law of attraction? What does the law of attraction teach? The law of attraction teaches that we are attracting things into our life based on our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. And they teach that we are creating our realities and that we have total control over our future. And if we can only learn how to create the right way, then our futures will be brighter and happier, and we will live a life of heaven on earth. Now, as I have mentioned before, I have always had a tremendous amount of faith, but I also believe in logic. If something doesn't make sense to me, then I question it. Call it a fault, I'm not sure. But whatever it is definitely a defect or an enhancement of my character, however you want to look at it. So in a sense, this made logical sense to me. I believe that we live in a world of universal laws, and I believe that our free will and choice have a lot to do with what happens. I studied the quantum model of science, and this clearly illustrates the importance of our observations and expectations on what happens in our world. So it made sense. But what is missing from the law of attraction? One day it occurred to me that even though I believed the law of attraction to be true, it was secondary to something much, much larger and much more important. And what is it that is much more important? In my opinion, it's God. Let me explain. The way that I look at it is that science is an unfolding of never-ending mysteries of life, discoveries of what already exists, and every answer seems to bring about more questions. The quantum model of science is fascinating to me, and I love to study it. I don't understand it, but neither does anyone else. However, there are other models of science that may provide clues to other parts of the story, or rather, the big picture. For example, we now know that each cell contains complex sequences of information with instructions that tells the cell what to do. And we now know that there are at least 150 finely tuned aspects of the universe that are so precise that if any of them were to vary in one direction or another, life on Earth would not and could not exist. We also know that if we cut our arm, it will miraculously heal itself in a few days. Or does it contain instructions that tell it how to heal? Where did these instructions come from? Where did the cells get the instruction to perform certain actions inside of our bodies? How does the body know to heal itself? How does it know how to heal itself? How does oxygen, temperature, gravity, water, and many other elements and constants on this earth maintain the exact right balance that makes it possible for us to survive? And then finally, what do our observations and expectations have to do with it all? I'm not pretending to have all of the answers to these questions, but what I am saying is that the law of attraction takes into account the role of our beliefs, thoughts, observations, expectations, and feelings on what happens, but it does not take into account the intelligence that caused a single cell to divide and subdivide again to eventually turn us into the person that we are today. There was a blueprint in that cell with instructions on how to do that. So who is responsible for these instructions? In my opinion, that would be God. So how can we factor God into the law of attraction? To me, this is very simple. We just acknowledge God. But not only acknowledge God, but to love God and to do this first. In the Bible, Jesus called this the greatest commandment of them all. And second is only to love one another as we would love ourselves. And I'm not trying to get preachy here, but rather I'm just trying to illustrate a point. Rather than taking credit for creating our future, as all of the law of attraction proponents propose that we do, why not give God the credit and acknowledge the law of attraction as secondary? In other words, why not recognize that the law of attraction is really saying that we are co-creators with God, not creators? I'm sorry, but I don't think that we are that powerful by ourselves. I think that it is only the power that comes to us and works through us that is really doing the work. I think that if we love that power, which I call God, and respect and honor God first, then and only then will we co-create our futures in the most beneficial way. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but that's the way that I see it. So is the law of attraction logical, and could it be true? Yes, I believe that it is logical, and I believe that it is true. I believe that the quantum model of science has proven it to be true. But I believe that this is what Jesus meant when he said, "If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer." I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not even saying that I have it mastered, but I am saying that I believe it to be true if we can rise above our challenges and reach a higher level of love, compassion, and awareness. But as mentioned previously, Jesus also said that the greatest of all commandments was to love the Lord thy God with all of thy heart, with all of thy soul, and with all of thy mind. Maybe this hasn't been brought up because it hasn't been scientifically proven, but does that mean that it isn't true? I guess it depends on who you ask. Not everyone will agree with me on this, and that's okay. I don't pretend to have all of the answers or to understand God, and I'm sure that many people will leave comments letting me know how they feel about it because this is a very controversial topic. But I am only saying that in the system that we teach here, which we call the higher logic system, this concept is taught as well. And that missing concept is to love God first and to co-create with God second. If you have enjoyed this video, please join our free strategy group if you haven't already. And that web address is selfesteemers.com/free group. And when you get there, be sure and look for the free guide called The 21 Reasons Why People Are Mean to Nice People. If you've ever wondered that, then you are definitely in the right place. So please go to our free group where you can get a lot more information like this, and I look forward to seeing you there.